No one is coming. That is the truth most people cannot bear. The truth buried under every illusion society sells you. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your lover, not your friends, not your leaders, not your gods. You are born alone, you suffer alone, and you die alone, no matter how much noise surrounds you in between. The lie of rescue is the oldest lie of civilization, the one that keeps you docile, compliant, waiting for salvation instead of tearing apart the chains that bind you. But if you strip away every fantasy, if you stare into the void without flinching, you see it clearly. No one is coming. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you stop waiting. Stop begging. Stop hoping. The sooner you awaken, even if awakening feels like death. From the moment you are born, they feed you the story of saviors. As an infant, you cry and someone comes. You are fed, clothed, held. You learn quickly that to signal need is to summon rescue, and you never unlearn it. The child grows expecting that someone bigger, stronger, wiser will always step in. Parents, teachers, elders, all are painted as guardians of safety. But safety is a mask, and the guardians are not gods. They are frightened animals like you, improvising through life. Fragile, selfish, bound by their own limits. When the child's illusion cracks and the parent reveals their weakness, their hypocrisy, their inability to save themselves, the betrayal is unbearable. Yet this betrayal is not an accident. It is the first taste of truth. No one is coming. But you refuse to accept it. You transfer the longing elsewhere. If parents cannot save you, perhaps a lover can. You grow into adulthood carrying the secret belief that one day someone will arrive who finally understands, who carries your burdens, who fills the emptiness, who rescues you from loneliness. This is the romantic delusion that fuels songs, movies, entire industries. The dream of completion through another. But love is not salvation. It is reflection. And reflection does not erase your emptiness. It exposes it. Lovers leave. They betray. They fail. And even when they stay, they are too limited, too fragile to carry your weight. You hoped they would save you, but they are drowning themselves. And in their arms, you are no safer than you were alone. So you search higher. If lovers cannot save you, perhaps leaders can. Perhaps the system, the state, the collective will protect you. You cast your vote, you follow the rules, you place faith in the structures towering over you, but governments do not exist to save individuals. They exist to sustain themselves. Leaders are not protectors, they are predators who rise by consuming the hopes of the masses. They promise rescue to keep you obedient, to keep you docile, to keep you waiting. But when crisis comes, when you truly need them, they reveal themselves for what they are: powerless, corrupt, indifferent. They do not come. They never intended to. Their survival was always their only mission. And once again, you see the pattern. No one is coming. When the systems fail, you search beyond the human. You are told salvation lies in heaven, in gods, in cosmic plans. Religion whispers that someone is watching, that someone will rescue you if you believe, if you obey, if you suffer faithfully. But belief does not erase the silence. Prayers vanish into the void, and the void does not answer. The faithful die as brutally as the faithless. Their illusions intact, but their bodies broken all the same. Spirituality sells softer lies. The universe has your back, manifestation will protect you, destiny will guide you. But these are only sugar-coated myths, keeping you compliant in the face of meaninglessness. The stars will not intervene. The universe does not notice you. You are alone in an infinite silence. No one is coming. The fantasy of rescue is not only cultural, it is biological. Evolution wired you to depend on others, to seek belonging, to find safety in the group. But biology is not salvation. It is survival strategy. And survival strategy does not care about truth. It only cares about keeping the machine of reproduction and survival moving. Your instincts scream for saviors because your body knows it is fragile. But fragility does not summon rescue, it only ensures you are desperate enough to submit to whoever promises it. And those promises, whether from parent, lover, leader, or God, are always empty. Because beneath the rituals and roles, every being is fighting for themselves. You can feel this truth in your loneliest moments, when the noise dies and you are left with silence. When the phone does not ring, when the messages go unanswered, when the room is empty and the night is long. You wait for someone to notice your absence, to hear your pain, to reach out. And no one does. You tell yourself it is temporary, that help will come eventually, that someone will arrive. But hours stretch into days, days into years, and you begin to see the shape of it. No one is watching you closely enough. No one is carrying you in their heart the way you carry yourself. You are alone, and the silence is eternal. Most people cannot bear this truth, so they bury it. They distract themselves with entertainment, drown themselves in work, lose themselves in relationships, numb themselves with substances. Anything to avoid the unbearable clarity that they are unsaved, that they are unsavable. They cling to illusions because illusions keep the void at bay. But the aware cannot cling. The aware have seen too much, felt too deeply, endured too honestly. The aware understand that the only reason illusions exist is because the truth is too sharp, too merciless to face. And the truth is simple, undeniable, and cruel. No one is coming. Not now. Not ever. You may think this realization is despair, but it is not. Despair is waiting endlessly for a rescue that never arrives. Despair is handing over your life to saviors who never existed. Despair is giving your soul to illusions and realizing too late that they have betrayed you. The truth, as devastating as it is, ends despair. Because once you stop waiting, once you stop begging, once you stop believing in rescue, you stand face to face with reality. And though reality is merciless, it is honest. That honesty, unbearable as it feels, is the first step to freedom. No one is coming to save you. That is the first truth of awakening. And once you accept it, everything else begins to fall away. The first lie you inherit is the belief that authority exists to protect you. From the moment you can walk, you're told there is someone stronger, wiser, safer than you, who will shield you from harm. Parents are painted as guardians, teachers as guides, governments as protectors. You are taught to look upward for rescue instead of inward for strength. But the lie cracks early if you dare to see. Parents are not gods. They are broken children in older bodies, repeating cycles of fear, trauma, and failure. Teachers are not saints. They are workers surviving within systems of obedience. Governments are not guardians. They are machines of power, consuming individuals to preserve themselves. Every figure painted as savior is revealed in time to be just as fragile, selfish, and lost as you. They never had the power to save you, only the power to convince you to wait for a rescue that was never coming. This lie is convenient for everyone but you. Parents use it to control obedience. Teachers use it to suppress rebellion. Leaders use it to demand loyalty. Religion uses it to demand faith. All whisper the same story. If you follow, if you obey, if you wait, you will be protected. And in the meantime, your life is spent in submission. You trade your agency for the promise of safety, a promise that never arrives. You live like a child in an adult body, waiting for the voice of authority to fix what you fear. And one day, when you're broken and desperate, you realize no one is coming. The phone does not ring. The hand does not reach. The rescue never comes. The lie collapses, and in its ashes you see clearly. You were always alone, and the saviors were only masks worn by people trying to save themselves. But you do not want to accept this. So you build a new illusion. If authority cannot save you, perhaps love will. This is the romantic delusion. The belief that someone, somewhere, is destined to arrive and carry your burdens. That a lover will complete you, heal you, rescue you from the weight of existence. Entire cultures are built on this lie. Stories, songs, films, all selling the fantasy that salvation wears the face of another human being. And so you search endlessly for the one who will finally rescue you from yourself. But love does not save. Love exposes. The closer you get to another, the more you see their fragility, their selfishness, their emptiness. You realize that they are not your savior. They are just as lost, just as burdened, just as desperate for rescue. And in your need, you demand too much. You want them to be more than they can be, to carry more than they can hold. You want them to heal your loneliness, but all they can do is momentarily distract you from it. You want them to fill the void, but all they can do is echo your own emptiness. And when they fail to rescue you, as they inevitably will, the delusion collapses into resentment, betrayal, or abandonment. The romantic delusion is cruel because it dangles hope in front of you like a carrot. You chase it, thinking the next person will save you if the last one didn't. The next relationship, the next body, the next face, the next set of promises. But every time the truth emerges again, they are not coming. They never were. No partner, no lover, no soulmate can rescue you from yourself. And the more you cling to the fantasy, the more invisible and disposable you become. Because need is not love. Desperation is not desire. Waiting for rescue is not intimacy. It is surrender disguised as connection. When personal saviors fail, you turn to collective ones. You hope that leaders, governments, and systems will rescue you. You believe the promises of politicians, the visions of movements, the slogans of nations. You tell yourself that if the right person is elected, if the right revolution occurs, if the right party rises, your life will finally be safe, meaningful, free. But politics is theatre. Leaders are actors reading scripts written by power. Governments are machines of control, not compassion. They do not exist to save you. They exist to survive themselves. Every speech of hope is manipulation. Every promise of rescue is bait. Leaders survive by convincing you to wait, to obey, to invest your hope in them while they extract your labor, your taxes, your loyalty. They do not bleed when you bleed. They do not starve when you starve. They thrive while you suffer, and they tell you to be patient, to endure, to believe. But when crisis arrives, when your back is against the wall, when you cry for help, the machine does not move. The leaders do not come. The state does not intervene. And you see it clearly. The system is not your savior. It is your cage. The political fraud is the hardest for some to accept, because it is woven into every layer of modern existence. The idea that you are represented, that you are protected, that you are part of something larger than yourself. But strip away the slogans, the flags, the anthems, and you find only power preserving itself. Nations sacrifice their citizens in war. Governments abandon their people in poverty. Leaders betray those who trust them most. And still, people cling to the fraud, because without it, they must face the silence. No one is coming. Not the left, not the right, not the revolution, not the state. They will consume you, but they will not save you. This is the pattern you begin to see once awareness cuts deep. Every promise of rescue collapses. Parents cannot save you. Lovers cannot save you. Leaders cannot save you. Systems cannot save you. Each one sells the illusion of salvation to keep you waiting, to keep you obedient, to keep you distracted. But the truth beneath every failure, every betrayal, every abandonment is the same. No one is coming. You stand alone. You always have. You always will. Religion sells you the sweetest lie of all, that someone beyond this world will save you, that a god, a guru, a cosmic plan will descend when you are most broken. From childhood, you are taught to pray, to bow, to surrender your will in exchange for protection. Heaven is painted as the great safety net, eternity as the final rescue. Believe enough, obey enough. And when the weight of life crushes you, a hand from beyond will lift you up. But the silence after prayer is the loudest truth in existence. Nothing answers. The sky does not move. The void remains indifferent. The world devours the faithful with the same hunger it devours the faithless. To believe you will be saved is to cling to the last illusion humanity built against despair. But salvation does not come. The gods remain absent, the plans remain imaginary, and the truth remains merciless. Spirituality modernizes the same mirage. It no longer speaks in terms of heaven and hell, but in energies, vibrations, manifestations. You are told that the universe has your back, that destiny is unfolding in your favor, that abundance is waiting if only you align yourself properly. But this is just another trick to keep you compliant. When nothing arrives, the fault is placed on you. You did not manifest properly. You did not believe hard enough. You did not cleanse yourself of negativity. The structure is the same. Promise of salvation, endless waiting, blame on the victim when the rescue never comes. And the cycle continues because people cannot bear the alternative, that no one is listening, no one is guiding, no one is coming. The silence is too heavy, so they build illusions and kneel before them. Communities repeat the same trap on a smaller scale. Families, friendships, circles of belonging. They promise unconditional support. They tell you that no matter how hard it gets, someone will be there. But when the truth of life presses down, when your pain is too raw, when your despair is too heavy, you realize that even those who love you are limited. They tire. They withdraw. They judge. They abandon. Their loyalty has conditions. Their care has limits. Their patience has boundaries. The moment you demand too much, you see how fragile the promise was. Communities exist not to save the individual, but to maintain themselves. You are embraced only as long as you do not disrupt the comfort of the group. Once you do, you are exiled quietly, without ceremony. And again, the silence returns. No one is coming. This social trap is the cruelest because it convinces you that you are surrounded, that you are safe in numbers. You mistake company for salvation, but company is fragile. You believe that friendship means rescue, but friendship collapses when tested too hard. You think family is eternal, but family fractures under truth. In the end, every circle disperses, every bond loosens, every promise of solidarity dissolves into self-preservation. The herd looks after itself, not after you. And when the wolves come, you will be pushed to the edge. This is how groups survive, by sacrificing the weak. You're protected only until protecting you costs too much. And when it does, you are left behind. The psychological toll of seeing all this is devastating. To finally face the truth that no one is coming is to have the floor ripped out beneath you. You are conditioned to expect rescue. Your nervous system is wired to call for help. Your mind is trained to hope for salvation. When none comes, the collapse is total. Depression is not sickness. It is the raw, naked truth settling in. The despair that floods you is not a disorder, it is clarity. You feel the weight of existence pressing down with no outlet, no savior to hand it to, no higher power to soften it. And in that silence, you see yourself exposed, fragile, breakable, and entirely alone. This collapse terrifies most because it strips away the last illusions. You can no longer pretend someone will notice, someone will arrive, someone will intervene. The loneliness becomes absolute, the burden unbearable. Many retreat back into illusions. into faith, into love, into politics, into community, because the silence is too merciless. But for those who remain, for those who refuse to close their eyes again, the collapse is permanent. You see the truth without filter. You are on your own, and you always have been. Every betrayal you've endured, every rejection, every abandonment, every moment where someone chose themselves over you, all of it points to one truth. No one is coming. Human beings are not built to save one another. They are built to preserve themselves. Even the ones who swear loyalty, who declare love, who promise forever, when the cost becomes too high, when your weight threatens their survival, they withdraw. They rationalize. They abandon. They save themselves. And you, broken under the weight, finally see that dependence is suicide. To need someone fully is to place your life in hands that will one day let go. And they always let go. Not because they are cruel, but because they are human. The anatomy of abandonment is not anomaly. It is law. Look back at the moments that carved you open. The friend who swore they'd be there until the end but disappeared when the storm hit. The family member who preached unconditional love but could not handle your truth. The partner who vowed eternity but chose themselves when you demanded too much. Each fracture was a revelation. They were never saviors. They were fragile creatures trying to survive. And survival does not include carrying another endlessly. To expect rescue is to misunderstand the nature of humanity. No one carries anyone forever. Everyone saves themselves first. That is why every bond eventually breaks, every promise eventually dissolves, every connection eventually reveals its limits. It is in these ruins that the birth of self-sovereignty begins. The realization is merciless but liberating. No one is coming. The only savior you will ever meet is the one staring back at you in the mirror. There is no rescue, no hand from the sky, no leader, no lover, no God that will step in. There is only you. This is not comfort. It is not hope. It is not salvation. It is burden. But it is also truth. Once you accept it, you stop waiting. You stop begging. You stop handing your power away to those who cannot carry it. You begin to bear the weight yourself, not because it is noble, but because it is the only option left. Self-sovereignty is not freedom. It is responsibility. It is the acceptance that the pain, the despair, the emptiness are yours to endure, yours to navigate, yours to survive. No one will walk through the fire for you. No one will bleed in your place. No one will carry the silence when the night is long. It is you, always you, only you. And though it feels unbearable, though it feels suffocating, it is the only ground that does not collapse, because it is built not on illusions, but on the raw fact of reality. The final descent is clarity without comfort. To know that no one is coming is to stand naked in the truth of existence. There is no rescue waiting, no hand reaching, no light breaking the darkness. You are alone in the void, carrying yourself through a world that does not care if you survive. This knowledge feels like death. It burns away hope, it shatters illusion, it crushes every dream of salvation. But it is also the end of waiting. You no longer waste your life on fantasies of rescue. You no longer betray yourself in the name of saviors. You stand alone, mercilessly, honestly, completely. This is the truth. No one is coming to save you. And though it feels like despair, it is the end of despair. Because despair belongs to those who still wait, who still hope, who still believe. When you stop waiting, when you stop hoping, when you stop believing, you're no longer enslaved by rescue. You're no longer chained to illusions. You're no longer blind. You are awake, alone, burdened, but awake. And though no one is coming, at last you see the world as it is, merciless, indifferent, but honest. And honesty, though it cuts deeper than any lie, is the only thing that remains when everything else collapses.